everybody can see the offense has problems. They're the 31st ranked offense in football. The running game's not working the same. The offensive line's not the same. The passing game has still been stagnant and struggling, and you're putting an immense amount of pressure on the defense.
Without further ado, from Birds 365, my boy Bugsy, Zander Krause joins us now.
What's up, Big Sales? Great freaking job today, my man. Excellent interview with Doug Peterson. That's why I'm late. I was working on it, making sure I had it all ready to go, ready to post right coming out of the National Football Show. So for everybody that missed the interview, you stay right here through the end. That video will premiere on the channel at 6 p.m. tonight. Doug Peterson on the show. Big Sills, you might stir some feathers. You might make people hate you sometimes. You might shit on our birds too much, but you know how to conduct an interview. Well done, my friend.
Well, here's what I did for me. I wanted him to answer questions on how I see your organization and how I've been asking who makes the hires, who does this, where was Jalen Hurts, and how they thought of him when they drafted him. I really wanted to be educated myself, and Doug was the prime guy to do it and help me. I asked questions that I wanted to know answers to, and what everyone has been assuming, well, this was the assumption. Did you know that it was more the Eagles that fired him than Doug walking away?
I did. I actually had a similar perception of that Howard had when Howard came on, and he said,
okay.
I kind of thought that Doug wouldn't move on the coaches, and that's where eventually the break came, which I think that is where it probably came. And I thought Doug talked around it pretty nice, to be honest. But you know what I noticed from the interview? I really don't think Doug. I don't think he has a sour taste in his mouth. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you get fired from somewhere, you might leave, you might hate the person, you might hate Howie or the owner. Like I really felt like Doug didn't have any sour taste in his mouth at all.
More grateful.
Right. Grateful, appreciative of the time, and just understanding of the business as well. You know, where, look, I'm a coach. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the nature of being a coach in this league. But you can also tell he thinks very highly of Jalen Hurts.
But I could tell you this, too. I think because the love of the fans that they have for him, I think that covers a lot of the hurt.
I told you this city loves Doug Peterson. You're right. You are right. Because it's not like they didn't, in a way, not that they would have tried to do this, but everything he built isn't burned completely. It's over, but it's not burned, right? Does that make sense? Like it's still here. The statue's still there. We all think about it and talk about it, you know, with the context that it deserves. So I do think that's a big part of it.
What did you make of the fact that, you know, obviously he didn't get a chance to pick his coaches and he had to fight for his coaches? And the question that Angela wanted me to ask, I had to ask it in a nice way. I don't want to go crazy with it, but it's clearly that Nick has more say in elevating certain coaches than what Doug did. And Doug didn't have that option. What'd you make of that?
Well, I think some of that is unfortunately, you know, circumstantial for Doug.
Yeah, but maybe the Eagles learned too. Maybe they should get their coach.
But remember what happened before Doug, right? Remember where they came as a franchise, coming off of Chip Kelly, coming off of the era where, you know, you have Jeffrey Lurie. Let's just make the analogy. The Eagles are his baby.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody's holding your baby. People have done a good job of holding your baby. Then you hire somebody and they drop your baby on its head. And then next time you hold the baby, you're like, all right, I'm a little more guarded. And I think that was some of that existed with Doug. Now, you could make an argument it should have been back to normal by 2020. For whatever reason, it wasn't. Now I think you're 10 years removed from that. You're 2 Super Bowls later. You know, there's a more confident persona in the organization that they believe they're meant to be at the top of the organization or top of the NFL, not that they're just here today and gone tomorrow. You know, so I think that played into it a little bit. And, you know, the one knock I would have on Doug is I don't particularly know how impressive those candidates were.
Yeah.
Not that Patullo is all that impressive.
After the fact.
Right. You know, so I don't know. Maybe Jeffrey saw something and didn't want to push over on it. But I think it more has to do with the circumstance of the organization where they didn't want to let that thing get out of control with the coach yet. especially coming off a chip. And I think that had a lot to do with it. But, boy, you could tell Doug Peterson's a smart guy. He's a football guy. You can tell why he's a player's coach. He understands. He's got a great perspective on everything. I thought it was a great interview. I really enjoy it. Not often, Sills, do I produce these shows. 5-6 years now I've been doing this. Not often do I catch myself in the gate, like watching the show, watching, consuming, and really listening to everything. And I was certainly doing that with him.
Yeah, he's a compelling man. I hope he gets back into the game here. All right.
Hey, listen, he's got his feet kicked up, making what, 5 million, 6 million? 8. Would you be in a right? 8 million. Would you be in a rush? No. He's probably golfing. He's watching his son. He's hanging with his wife. He's probably like, this ain't too bad. I don't know. Way. I think you're right. He's not a sit on your hand. I'm certainly not a sit on my hands guy. I'll be working till I'm dead. I'll be working till I'm 6 feet under. I don't know if
there's people who just don't have idle hands.
Yeah, I get it.
All right. By the way, I'm with you. If you think that fucking meeting yesterday was over schematics on offense, you're out of your fucking mind. The whole unit would have been in there. Now, I don't want to pollute the question to you, but dude, come on, man.
Yeah.
This was about the relationship between AJ and Jalen Hurts.
I agree 100%. Now, I mean, obviously we're in some way we're speculating, but you can kind of go by the process of elimination and get really close to that point. Because
wait, before you go on, are you really going to have an offensive schematic meeting without Lane Johnson in the room?
Well, that's my point. Like we're speculating, but at the end of the day, let's go through the process of elimination. Is it about the offense? Well, you don't have Devontae. You don't have Jordan or Lane or Dickerson or any of the interior guys. You don't have Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni.
The center who has the ball in his hands as much as the quarterback.
So it's not okay, let's eliminate that. It's not about the offense. It's clearly not about the offense. Is it about the passing game? Well, why would Devontae Smith not be involved? Why would Dallas Goedert not be involved? Let's rule that out. How many other things do we have? I don't know. Maybe we come up with 5 things that it could be about. I think the elephant in the room is it's about Jalen and AJ. Credit to Saquon if he was the mediator. I know people report it like that, and maybe they're not right. John wanted to have fun with that. But at the end of the day, I do think that's what happened. I think Saquon literally said, I don't know what the fuck happened to you guys before I showed up here. I never got involved in it last year because it was my first year in this city, but we got bigger goals. So you two got it. Let's handle this like men. And I don't know, maybe you want to knock Jalen or AJ for that, for one or the other. I think both of them are stubborn in their own ways. And look, I hope it helps at the end of the day. I don't know what's going to come of it, but I hope that we see a little bit of fire and a little bit of life between these two guys. I mean, if you remember the 22 season, man, not only were these two guys productive and successful, but they enjoyed playing with, like, you could see it. And I know that's not everything. I'm not the happiness guy. You think I'm happy every day? I tell you right now, I ain't happy every day. It ain't all about happiness. So I get that. But I think when you play with a little bit of that free nature, you're a better football player. You play more free. You get on the same page. You remember how we used to talk about Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, the way they would freelance.
Yeah.
So many of their plays they made was just because they were on the same page. Mahomes would be outside the pocket. Kelce would come and get the ball. Like Jalen and AJ, they have none of that. They have no on-field chemistry anymore. And they did in 22 and 23. So I hope they can kind of get back to that.
Barkley.
What's that?
That's pre-Barkley.
It is pre-Barkley, but I don't think Barkley's the reason for it. I really don't. I mean, I think part of the reason they changed the offense, but I think their problems were before then.
Who do you think?
I don't know. Remember, Brandon Graham spoke pretty early in the year.
Who do you think the coaching staff wants to win games with and have the offense run through beside the quarterback, Barkley or AJ?
I mean, I think ideally they want to beat Barkley.
Okay, right.
Because it worked.
And I think that's AJ's problem.
Are they wrong? They are right now with the offensive line as it stands, I would say.
You've been exposed.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we've been exposed.
I
think it's been revealed to us that we are not Iron Man. All right. We were 21 and 22. Again, even me. I had this the entire game, Sills, all the way to the end. I'm like, oh, we're going to figure out a way to win. We always do. We always figure out a way to win. And I think it's in a way, if you're going to have chinks in the armor, which every team does, I do agree with John on this point. I disagree with him that this meeting was about the offense. I do agree with him that there's an overreaction happening to one loss. Every team in the NFL loses.
Well,
now, I understand the offense
team is overreacting.
Right. Yeah. Not. I'm not talking about fans. I'm talking about the team.
Yeah.
You know. But so I don't know. I mean, look. I just hope they can continue to build on it, honestly, and get back to that area. But I don't know if the coaches are wrong. Barkley led us to a Super Bowl last year. 22. I would say that they did too. You know.
Here's 20 quarters of football. What you're trending on right now with injuries and where you are on offense, you're 30th in total. You're passing, you're 31st. You're rushing, you're 25th. On defense, your total is 20th. Passing, you're 15th. You were number 1 last year. Rushing, you're 22nd. I mean,
yeah. Complimentary football has got to come back into it real quick, and I'll answer your question in a second. I just got a text from my editor who does the shorts clips, and he texts me. He says, "Sills, his questions are so fucking good. I got to get all these." That's my editor. That's what he just texted me. Sills' questions are so good.
I asked Doug, by the way, on a text. I go, "How many times have you done IP?" He goes, "I think once." That's when I first initially got. When he got fired.
To answer your question, don't you think it's kind of about? Don't you think the rankings right now, especially defensively, are more about the offense? And I know that doesn't sound correct, but it's like, dude, you got your defense on the field. Again, you pointed out in the postgame show immediately, 70 Broncos plays. And by the way, they weren't a good offense for 3.5 quarters on Friday or Saturday. They were not. Like they had the period from when they had 3 points on the board to when they got their first touchdown in the second half. Yeah. They were literally putrid. They couldn't move the ball for shit.
Yeah.
So the defense, the offense got to help a D out a little bit, man. You got to move the ball. You can't be leading the league in 4th down. So they still are 3 and outs. Excuse me. Let me read you. Zach Berman put this out last night, and I retweeted it, and I'm just like, shit, man. I thought hopefully after last week it would have gotten better a little bit, or at least getting more toward getting better at it. But Zach Berman puts the most befuddling stat about the Eagles, which is a great word for it, befuddling. They've had 3 and outs, a league high 47.2% of their offensive drive. Wow. Number 2 on the list is Tennessee, and number 3 on the list is Cincinnati. It's beyond comprehension for an offense with this much talent to lead the league in that category. And ready for this kicker? It's only been 5 games, so we got to wait a little bit. But consider this. No team has had a worse 3 and out percentage since 2005, the 2005 49ers, who went 4-12 that year. So again, it's only week 5. They're not 47% for the year.
Either this is going to get turned.
But that's where we're pacing.
Wait a minute. And this is either going to turn around to be, well, we were just stumbling because of injuries. Or, dude, this is not. They do not look very good. I'll tell you what, I'm with you. You know what? Even though those defensive numbers are where they are, that's not surprising with all the new faces. I'm not surprised. By the way, I'm also not disappointed in that offense. Bro, I am highly disappointed in that offense. Wouldn't you say that? You're not really that disappointed because you see the upside. You see the upside with the defense, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's been moments where you get a little bit, but I think that's every football game. And I think overall the defense is way ahead of schedule. I mean, I think naturally that's really one of the biggest positives through 5 weeks sitting at 4-1 is the defense. Even with the grades that you read out or the rankings that you read out, that is one of my most positive takeaways of the year so far. Look, offense has to be better. There's no doubt. You can put the money on there. You can put the 10 of 11 starters returning on there. You can, whatever you want to do. Whether you want to say 60 million a receiver, you'd be right on all of them. So the offense has no excuse. They got to get a little bit better. I think they all know that. The question is, what does that look like? I don't know. I don't know what it looks like, honestly, because if you think about 22 and 23, you point out correctly that was pre-Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
24, you struggle in the first 5 weeks throwing. Then you go to Saquon. Then you run all the way to a Super Bowl. Now they're trying to stuff that, square peg into a round hole, and it's not working. The offensive line's not the same. Saquon's getting hit behind the line of scrimmage. All these different things are happening, and they keep trying to do that. What's the evolution from here? I don't know. Is it a passing attack with Saquon? I don't know. I'm like almost beside myself, Sills, because it seems so simple to me to have this good balanced approach. You got great receivers, you got a good quarterback, and you got a great running back. Throw the ball, run some play action, get the ball to Saquon Barkley at moments, and build your offense in a balanced way. It just feels like that's like, I don't know. It just feels like it's damn near impossible. I got egg on my face this week as you introduced me to the show today, blame Zander. I'm like, fuck, I want 40 passes to 2 runs. I just wanted a little bit more balance. Yeah. Holy moly.
How about your boy Brian Dable trolling the Eagles today?
Yeah, I got a good troll.
Saying A.J. Brown's open.
I got a better troll for him back. All right. And I got to credit Lord Brunson for this. I know he doesn't come on your show anymore because he doesn't like the greatness of big sales. But he hit him back and said, good troll. I also see an opening, and I also see someone else who's open, and that's the Giants head coaching job. I thought that was a good rip by Lord Brunson. I had to give him credit for that.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, but no, that was a good troll. That was a good troll. We got to give him credit.
What do you make of Landon Dickerson missing a couple games coming up here?
I'm upset about the fact that he's going to be out, but it's a very necessary evil right now.
Why didn't they do it earlier, though?
Right. I mean, it almost has been like, I don't want to overstate this. It almost has been like he's not playing with how good he's playing. If you think about it, what's he at? 50% health, 40%,
if that,
60%. So it's like you're playing Landon, but you're playing Landon in name only.
Yeah.
He's not real. You're not really getting Landon Dickerson. You're getting Matt Pryor with Dickerson on his jersey. Right. But let Landon get a little healthy, man. I'd almost be like, hey, if he needs to oppose bye week, I'm good with that. That's 3 games. That's Giants, Vikings, Giants. You get into the bye week. That's 4 good, really 4.5 good weeks of rest for Landon. He should be able to come out of that much healthier, and I think it'll be beneficial for the team. So, look, you got to prevail, though, this week. There's no doubt. I mean, we're talking about how to get the offense going. Whether you're playing the Giants or not, by the way, they got a great defensive line. Getting the offense going will rely on offensive line, running game, and all those different things. So, you lose Landon. You got Lane banged up. Cam Jurgens talking about the back surgery. He was clearly alluding to he's still hurt a little bit. I'm worried about nerve damage. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'm with you.
So,
would you think of moving Steen? Would you think of moving Steen over to left guard?
Why? So you can bring Pryor in the right?
Yeah, because you don't
like Brett Tall.
Well, because again, the worst.
You don't like Tooth.
The worst old lineman usually in an offensive line is the right guard.
Is that traditional?
Yes,
is that
traditional.
Wow,
well, look at what you guys have done the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
That's your revolving door position.
Yeah, from Sayamalu to who do we have before?
Cam Jurgens after that.
Cam Jurgens. Then we had Becton. Now we got Steen. That's right.
Right. And you put your backup center over at right guard.
Yeah.
So, I mean, something to think about. I doubt because that kid what is it, Toth?
Yeah.
Bro, they put that fucking guy over there. He's terrible. I mean, he's just getting killed over there.
You haven't been a Tooth guy for
no, not at all. He's been terrible. By the way, Pryor's not played well. What's Nick's role in this whole thing with AJ and Hurts? Did you hear Doug say that's the head coach's responsibility to get guys in the room and read them the truth of where you are? Dude, maybe the problem was you are the defending champs. Act like it.
If you're right. Like, if you're right about what you said, if you think it was about, which I agree with, the relationship of the two, like, I'm almost cool with Nick being like, bro, deal with that shit. I'm a football coach.
Okay, there's a way to look at it.
No, I get it. As a coach and a leader, you got to be responsible. But if it is really not about the offense and it's about some sort of
small for me to deal with, I'm not dealing with.
What would Jimmy say? Yo, fucking guys, figure it out and meet me in my office when you're done. I don't want to litigate this with you.
He would not address this.
Exactly. So if it's really about personal, then I think it's fine that it's players only. But I hope they figure it out here. I'm not going to lie to you here. I know I was Team AJ a week ago, and I still have a lot of love and respect for AJ, but I don't know, man. I keep playing that.
You're getting worn out.
That, and I keep playing that Brandon Graham clip in my head last year. And I trust Brandon Graham more than I trust AJ or Jalen, to be honest with you. And Brandon Graham said this. He said, one is trying, talking about Jalen Hurts. He is trying. He said that 3 times over. I know he's trying. So, I don't know. Is he not doing it perfect? Shit, get in line. And the rest of the human beings who aren't perfect in life, you know? But if he's trying and he's doing the things that a veteran who's been here for 15 years through ups and downs and multiple Super Bowls and multiple coaches and multiple quarterbacks says that about the quarterback, something leads me to believe that the dude who keeps making a stink year in and year out about production might be the dude that we got to tell to shut the fuck up. AJ, we love you, but shut the fuck up, man.
I just don't think he respects Hurts' game.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess. I don't think that's it.
Okay, then what else is it?
I understand why you bring that up. I mean, he had 2 of his best years as a pro. He had 2 Hall of Fame level. If he did that every year for 5 years.
Has his production gone down since Barkley came?
All right, so what if you're AJ Brown? What are you? So you're going to become the 6-year-old who doesn't get the candy at the fair and throws a hissy fit in the middle of the fucking fair.
You're T.O. Yeah.
That's what he's doing. If that's the case, and I don't know that it is, but if that's the case, that's what he's doing. You're throwing a hissy fit at the fair. Meanwhile, you won on every other prize you've been on in the fair that night.
You're 18-4 and you're throwing pitches? Bro, you're 8. Wait, hold on. You're counting the playoffs?
Well, remember,
you're 21-1. You're 21-1 and you're throwing bitches with a Super Bowl? Here's
where my original perspective on AJ isn't changed, and I don't know if this is true or not. I think we're all speculating at this point on this, but my original perspective on AJ was that he truly believed it was more about the offense at large than it was about individual numbers. Now, I might be completely wrong about that, but if he was talking about that, then I can respect that, because I think everybody who's an honest football fan and who watches the game more than just turns on the Eagles 4 hours a week, wants to parade him and then comes on our show and can't believe that we're talking about anything that's not, high in praise like the Eagles account. Everybody can see the offense has problems. They're the 31st ranked offense in football. The running game's not working the same. The offensive line's not the same. The passing game has still been stagnant and struggling, and you're putting an immense amount of pressure on the defense. Most people who watch the game of football can see that. If AJ was talking about that, he still wasn't wrong, but I just don't know if that's gotten muddied now because maybe he wasn't talking about that.
Are we sure this isn't about Barkley? Because all the problems that he's starting to bitch about started after he got here. And to Jalen's point, dude, I'm going to take a line from you. I'm doing everything that we need to do to win ball games. Is it
Jalen? That's Jalen. I believe it's Jalen. Exactly.
I do. I'm not, dude. I got him in my MVP race right now. I'm not out on that.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I get what you're saying.
Okay, but I think it's got everything to do with Barkley and how they see Saquon Barkley as a bigger star in that huddle than him. And guess how I know that? Look at the production. He's 61st in receptions right now in the NFL. Dude, he has not been responsible for the 4 wins, and he's been kind of responsible for the loss. The passing game. They wanted it. They passed, they lost. I mean, maybe the Rams game, he was in the mix there with the passing game, and he was responsible for that. But the majority of these games, I don't know, man. I agree with John on this. This has been made way bigger than it should be.
Well, you remember too, this is also, and I think this is more
blowing up.
It's this. I don't think it's blown up yet. We'll see though.
I was told it was over last week.
Yeah, it's not. I will say this too. They're making life has gotten harder too in the offense as a whole because of that offensive line. From a sense of they're playing Jalen much differently this year, and there's not as much of a threat from the running game. or the passing game. So when you have, when they're forcing to beat you from the pocket, and then your running game's also not helping you have no play action, you got no rollouts, you got no RPOs. They're not doing anything to put Jalen in a better position to be able to take advantage of defenses that are preying on him. It's like, just like Brady, every quarterback has a kryptonite, and Jalen's right now is when you take away his ability to make plays outside the pocket, that's his kryptonite. When you take that, or you know what I mean? So they've made that. Think about how much easier they've made that this year. And I don't know if that's because of injury. I don't know if it's because the offensive line doesn't look the same. I don't know if it's because we got spoiled. I don't know if Jeff Stoutland has something to do with it because he's the run game coordinator and the offensive line coach. I don't know. There's still a lot to fix.
All right, let's do these supers, my friend.
Yeah, let's do them. I don't know if we missed any, too, and Doug was on.
We did. We did.
Kimberly says, AJ's envious. Barkley stole the limelight. Well,
ego will divide a lot of relationships, my friend. And you got to feel the receiver has ego.
Yeah, well, they all do. Mikey says, hate to say this, but feels like a quarterback issue. If Jalen is this limited and can only thrive in specific offenses, what happens when teams don't allow that to work?
Yeah, but Mikey, here's the deal, though. He has a limited offense he excels in, and he's winning Super Bowls and getting the Super Bowls.
Dude, we've been successful 4 different fucking offenses, Mikey. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Every fucking year it looks somewhat different, dude. I mean, I'm sorry, but you say this like last year was the anomaly and the one year where Jalen Hurts ever had a glimpse of success. Sorry, but that's just not the case. Whatever you want to say about the guy's skill set, it's not the case. They didn't run that offense in 22 or 23. Now, it was different versions, a different version of the play in the offense.
Different version in 24.
To say he can only thrive in one specific offense, I think is a naive comment. Love you, Mikey. Kimberly says, I'm not sleeping on the Giants. D-line's good. How banged up are they right now?
You know what? Adol Carter's the real deal. Dude, Neighbors is down. Their run game's okay. Man, I'll tell you. Here's what I'll throw out. If that's a 21-17 game and the Eagles beat them 21-17, you're gonna have holy hell loose.
No, win the game. It's a divisional matchup.
I don't know, man.
I'm not falling for that.
You're barely beating bad teams.
Sorry, I'm not falling for that bullshit. Win the game and find yourself. What do we need? What? So now the expectation is blow them out.
I'm not talking about me. You watch those guys blow up again. This is not the end of it.
I told you guys I got some egg on my face, so when we win, I'm good. I don't really have any. When we just win, just fucking win. All right, we have one loss. I already don't like it. Don't like it.
One loss.
30 days says, fun fact, every Oklahoma starting quarterback from 25 to 23 is starting in the NFL. That is amazing.
It is.
Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, Spencer Rattler, Caleb Williams, and Dylan Gabriel.
And get this,
Dylan Gabriel wasn't.
Dylan Gabriel was at OU before he went to Oklahoma.
Oh, no, before he went to
he transferred from UCF to Oklahoma to Colorado.
To Colorado.
Or to
Oregon? No, where did he go?
Yeah, he went to Oregon. Yeah.
No, Bo Nix went to Oregon.
Yeah, I know.
Dylan
Gabriel went to Oregon too.
Yeah, Oregon. Yeah, you're right.
But
he was there after Bo. He was there after Bo.
UCF.
He was there the year after Bo. He was there the year after Bo.
He went to UCF, Oklahoma, then he went to Oregon.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
That's Lincoln Riley.
That's pretty sick. Well, he left from what, 20?
Yeah.
Cal says, Sills, you think Mahomes will ever win another bowl? I do. I do too.
I think he'll win multiple.
He looks really good again. I know they didn't win last night,
but he just got horse shit on that.
He's just a good player, dude. He just figures out how to win football games.
He is so
hungry, and he does it in an impressive fashion too. Hangry Dog says, Sill said it. Hurts MVP. Clip it at 13:30 Pacific time. Didn't Doug say he hired Frank?
Yes. To be his offensive coordinator.
Thanks, Dio. Appreciate it, brother.
Hey, I personally tell you, I still got Hurts in my MVP conversation right now. You're not 4-1 without him. You are not 4-1 right now without him.
No way. Kimberly says we are echoing it. Doug would develop Jalen. I think Jalen would be. Think about this. First year in the league. There's basically no NFL development yet. He throws for 300 plus with Jalen Reagor and who do we have? Travis Fulgham in 2020. Think about that. He throws for 300 versus a Cardinals team his rookie year with Doug Peterson coming off the bench with trash cans at wide receiver. And now people want to tell me he can't throw when he's got AJ and Devontae.
How about this?
I think Doug would have been.
I still think the fight would have been in the coordinators of Doug hiring the coordinators for Jalen, like it is right now.
Potentially.
Because that's where the rub is.
Did you read this? Because this is Big Marsh.
Get off
your knees for Dak. Come on, Marsh.
You think Dak's playing well?
Yeah, what? Absolutely.
Dak's playing MVP ball right now.
But listen, I'm going to go Philly 500 on you. It's classic Dak.
Okay.
Week 4, week 5, Dak looks like an unbelievable quarterback.
I know it's October 7th.
Yeah, I got you. I'm just saying, don't you believe by year 10 with 3 number 1 offense, like you got to win playoff games, So Dak looks great for sure.
Yes.
I'm going to hold off until you go and win a playoff game.
No, I'm not saying anything is not going to play itself out like Dak does. I'm telling you on October 7th, the guy's playing MVP ball.
100%.
That's all I'm saying. Nothing more, nothing less.
You could probably make an argument Dak would be top 3 in the MVP rankings right now.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely he is.
Yeah. I think that's fine. I don't think that's hard.
Number 1 offense and a 32nd ranked defense. What do you think?
Yeah. That's like Joe Burrow a year ago, and they were talking about him in it too. Who has a better touchdown to interception rate? Who cares? Wait, what? Where do we miss Doug? Thank you, Big Sills. I appreciate you. All right, we got that. Big Marsh, we got that. Prince said, thank you, Doug. Appreciate you, Prince. Ray said, God bless you, Doug.
That's really cool, Ray.
Worldwide hero for Philly fans. I agree, Reyes. Here's Devin. He said, would love to have Dougie back. He's a real coach, a real human being, not like that puppet that is scared to speak. There's no doubt Doug's a real dude.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, the outpouring of love that Philadelphia has for him was clearly on display. Bro, really. I mean, I was shocked, actually. Zander, I didn't realize. You know what I think happened? He did something to all of you guys that you thought would never going to happen. He did something for all of you guys. And when you saw that Lombardi Trophy raised, it had to probably be the greatest moment in Philadelphia sports history.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, generations of kids and families never saw that happen.
100%.
I mean, wouldn't you agree that moment, that 17 title versus the 24 title, no disrespect to the 24, 17 will always live in the hearts of everybody in that city.
100%. And I'll tell you this right now. Doug Peterson's my favorite coach in Eagles history. Now, I'm not going to speak like that'll never change. Maybe there's some guy in the future who shows up, but the dude we have now could win 5 Super Bowls. I ain't going to like him as much as I like Doug. That's just the reality. And I respect Nick. I'm not even a Nick hater. You know that. I know. He's not my favorite, but I'm not a Nick hater. I'm not like Angela, who I think Nick's been successful. He's done a good job. He's managed the team well, but Doug's my guy. And by the way, now Doug came on JAKIB. It's lights out for everybody else, man. Doug Peterson is the fucking GOAT, baby.
Yeah. Hey, I'm so happy that he came on here, and he hasn't been on anywhere else in a long, long time. And so it was really great. All right, Big Z, I got to pay some bills here, and that was great. Now guess who I'm working on next? Nick Foles.
Nick, you said that. That's great. That's great. Wait, did we miss Jason's? One more. He said Doug will always be the first. If Philly never wanted to fire Doug, at least us fans. Ask Doug what was his favorite moment as coach in Philly. That would have been a good question too. But Jason, appreciate it, brother.
Here's one more down here, Emre.
Shithead. All right, we got 2 more. There's nowhere to hide from me when we repeat. Ray, sure as delusional as they come. Brody Brandel. What's up, Brody? I love this guy's name. Just sounds like a TV show name. Brody Brandel. He says Saquon is the Brown as Hurts was the Wentz. Some guys get motivated, some detach.
That's right. I agree. Brody, great stuff. Big Z, keep kicking ass, man. And by the way,
do you hear me filibustering this morning? Boy, they got the John. Boy. John made that comment yesterday about Jalen Hurts. Before we started my show today, he clicked on the link and we're talking pre-show, and he's like, "Man, you had to post that out, didn't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did. You said it on our program, John. I'm running a business. I got to make money. I got to get views. I got to build this business." And he's like, "I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying they gave me a hard fucking time, and they're going to continue to."
I thought it was one of the greatest comments I've ever seen anybody covering the team ever make. Dude.
Yeah, well, they gave him a hard time for it, and they're going to keep giving him a hard time for it.
It's rough doing business with Big Sills and JAKIB. Big Z, keep it up, man. Keep it up, bro. Catch you in the morning, man. Keep it up, brother. Love you, man.